So guys and girls, where were we at? Alright, so here we go. Action Comics issue number 8 from January of 1939. We've got what looks like redcoats versus Native Americans, so this could be French and Indian War, the American Revolution. Basically, we're talking about a story that takes place in the 1700s. Of course, no Superman on the cover, so we're back to that again. Leaping over towering buildings, rending steel in his bare hands. I like that phrase, rending steel. Nobody uses that word, rending. Racing at a speed hitherto unwitnessed by mortal eyes. That's pretty cool. Kind of looks like a double-decker Rolls Royce heading out of the city. Everyone's pretty excited. So this poor lady's son is in court, juvenile court, I should say. Clark Kent is in the audience, sympathizes with the lady, but doesn't think it's going to have any effect. And he was right. Now the judge sentences him to 2 years of boys reformatory. Why that dirty? It's Gimpy's fault. Frankie's getting a rap. You're right, gang. We meet in the alley behind my place tonight to talk this over. Though Clark is seated far across the room, his sensitive ears catch the boys' excited remarks. Well, they're yelling with exclamation points every single sentence. How could he not hear it? But apparently this is our first appearance of Superman's super hearing. That evening, a surprising transformation occurs within the privacy of Clark's apartment. Off come his glasses, outer garments, his figure erects. What kind of a comic is this? Okay, so the boy gang is out for revenge against Gimpy, and Gimpy talks his way out of getting beaten to death with a pipe wrench. But it doesn't work on Superman. Superman is here to stay and beat the living tar out of Gimpy. What a thug. Gimpy set up the other boys, but Superman is saving them from the cops. So now Superman is an outlaw. He's even holding up the paddy wagon. And here he is again, saving another one of the kids. Superman's got great posture. Well, he tells them all they've been set up by Gimpy. Gimpy overhears and he tries to shoot them all to death, but check this out. Superman catches the bullet right out of the air, throws Gimpy into the drink. And he's just kind of carrying the boys everywhere under his arms like luggage. Superman, you're starting to remind me of the Lev Gleason Daredevil of the Golden Age, where you're just hanging out with these boys. Please don't let him take over your comic like he did. Cyclone hits Florida? Oh no, we don't get cyclones here. This isn't Kansas. We get hurricanes. Speak of the devil, a hurricane. No, it's Superman. Without his Superman shield on his chest, look at that. Maybe he's in disguise because he's tearing up the town. Look at that. He's destroying all of the buildings. Now the military's after him. Boy, he's losing his shield in every other panel. Gosh, they see him as a menace. Well, he did tear down the entire town. Look, it's in shambles. No bother. They just built a whole new city right in its place. Boy, that was convenient. You can tell your readers that we'll spare no effort to apprehend Superman. But off the record, I think he did a splendid thing, and I'd like to shake his hand. You know, Chief, strangely enough, I feel the same way. The end. Well, I don't know. I guess the ends justify the means, huh, Superman? Oh, here we go. Acquiring super strength. What do you have to do? Is it the twisting fist thing again? No, it's a lesson in getting supervision. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. You want supervision, just bring your parents on in. Ha ha! No, here we go. An exercise to acquire unusual vision is as follows. First, glance at a distant object. Then glance at a close object. Repeat. Okay. Do this for a few minutes every day and you'll soon be able to peer more distantly than any of your friends. Well, that was a goofy story, but I've got a surprise for you. You see, also in January of 1939, the Superman daily newspaper strip made its debut. Now this is what Siegel and Schuster were really dreaming of becoming. Newspaper comic men. See, the comic book world, it was brand new and it was something to be embarrassed by. The real money, the real prestige, the real celebrity status was being in the newspaper, and they finally did it. check this out. We have an expanded origin story. Here on the planet Krypton is Superman's father named Jor-El. This is the first appearance of his name. It's the first appearance of the name Krypton. And look, he has super strength, super speed, super powers, as does everyone on the planet Krypton. And there's the baby Superman, and they name him Kal-El. Again, another first. There are signs of the world coming to an end that only Jor-El, Krypton's foremost scientist, is aware of. He tries to build a ship to save his entire race, but they're running out of time. Krypton's Council of Morons does not believe him, so he starts to make a smaller rocket just to save his family. Again, not enough time. All he could build was the prototype, put the baby Kal-El on board, and send him off to Earth to become Superman, the last son of Krypton, the man of tomorrow, the man of steel. But if everyone on Krypton had the powers of Superman, couldn't they just leave Krypton or survive the explosion? I mean, Superman could. That wouldn't kill Superman. Well, back then in 1939, he wasn't quite that powerful. In fact, he couldn't fly. Probably couldn't survive in space. He probably couldn't even tie his shoes. Nah, I'm just being ridiculous. But he lands on Earth, found by a random passerby, given to an orphanage, and he grows up to become your friend and mine. Now, the newspaper daily strips had their own continuity separate from the comics, and we would get the first use of the things I showed you here, plus Metropolis, the Daily Planet, the first telephone booth costume change, etc. They would start adding the color Sunday strips that November, and the comic strip ran until 1966. And then it came back again from 1978 through 1985. Neat, right? Well, that's not all. Because look what I found! This was at Target. The new McFarlane Toys Superman action figure from DC Direct. Let's check it out. Oh, cool. Picture on the back. 14 plus. Nah, I better take it back. Just kidding. The Spawn logo on a Superman toy. McFarlane Toys Digital. What's that supposed to mean? What's inside here? Okay, so, I guess a stand. That's cool. This is trading cards? A trading card. And like a scratch-off thing? I don't need to deal with all this. Just let me have the toy. One hand. Two hand. Red hand. Blue hand. Oh. Come on, Superman. Can't you bust out of this yourself? This is hard. Well, all I can say is I'm glad they didn't put all these things through the fabric of the cape. Let me get a knife. Better yet, my snips from my old days at the phone company. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, no. Let's try that again. Look at that. Yay, it worked. One more. Round the midsection. If I could only get it. Yay. All right. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. Nice. You know, it looks like there's blue highlights in his hair. Oh, and they got a wire frame in the edge of the cape so you could shape it for cool posing. So you got all the articulation. You got this beautiful blue. That is the blue I want to see. Everything about him looks fantastic. This is a Superman action figure. All right, that's enough. I'll see you next time.